Welcome to the Good Life. For those of you who haven't been here before, we're just a group of people who like to talk about a few certain things. Living a life of virtue, how to have healthy, functioning relationships, how to be spiritually fulfilled, and how to live virtuously. Today, it's going to be about how to have healthy, functioning relationships. It's going to fall under that category. And we have a really, really cool show, some music, a lot of cool people. It seems like some of you I don't know, but I'm excited to get to know you. Please enjoy today.
How are y'all doing? Good. So I'm Nate. I'm a student at OSU studying architecture. It's pretty great. It's intense, but so I was born in Akron, Ohio, about 2 hours north of here. Early on in my childhood, I kind of got this sense that like something might be off with me. I kind of had a hard time relating to other kids my age. When I was 9, I was actually diagnosed with Asperger's syndrome, which for those of you who don't know is a form of high functioning autism. That comes with a lot of things. I would say two of the most relevant symptoms you could say to this story that I'm about to tell you would be kind of like a deeper emotional experience with things, just feeling things maybe more deeply, more personally than the average person. And then also an obsessive personality. So by obsessive, I want to say it's more than just thinking about things a lot. Kind of creates this inability to let go of things, which is very relevant to the story. So when I was 13, my parents split up. It was just one of those things, circumstances had changed. It didn't really make much sense for them to stay together. So the plan was that my brother and I we would reside in the house that we had lived in with our mom. My dad was going to move out. He bought a house about 10 minutes away. And then we would go over there every weeknight after school for a little bit. And then we would also spend every other weekend with him. So not too long after they split up, I noticed that my dad started buying alcohol, which was something he had never done before. And that kind of was like the trigger and set the stage for the next 10 years that this story takes place. So it kind of started off kind of subtly, you would have a beer here and there. It was different, wasn't a huge deal. As time went on, it kind of got more intense. The beers would turn into liquor, bottles of liquor. A lot of times he would get kind of, if you ever said anything to him, he would get very defensive. And if I said something to him, he would say something like, go fuck yourself, Nate. Which, I think I was 13 the first time he said that. So I'm like, okay, that's definitely not normal for your dad to say that. But, I loved him. I do love him. So I remember this one time, this was several years later. I lived with him, and I was graduating with my associate's degree from Stark State College, and we had planned this graduation party for me. And So the graduation party was on a Sunday. My dad started drinking that Thursday night before and then didn't stop until he left my graduation party. He showed up to the place where the graduation party was happening. He just reeked of alcohol and could barely speak in coherent sentences, and grabbed one of my friend's butts. That was kind of, I don't know how to describe how I felt. I was angry. I was like, what? Like, how could you do this? After the graduation party, I went home that night, and I turned on 21 Pilots, which is my favorite band, and this song came on. It's called Truce, and one of the lines in this song goes, "The sun will rise and we will try again." And so I was sitting in my room at his house, listening to this song, and it was in that moment that when I heard that line, I was just thinking, like, this could get better tomorrow if I just keep trying. Like, I want to do anything I can to try and help my dad. So this point, this was 2016. 2016 was kind of a weird time for me. I was trying to figure out what I wanted my next step to be. I was living with my dad. I was working for my dad. It was just kind of like, it was always this continuous cycle of drink a little bit, drink a lot, something big happens, he gets sober, and then repeat. So that was most of 2016. By the end of 2016, this cycle had continued so much that I was finally like, I need to get out of here. Like, I need to do something. So I was like, I kind of want to go back to school because why not? And I was like, what's the best school I can think of in the state of Ohio so that I can get in-state tuition? I was like, it'd probably be Ohio State. So I applied to Ohio State. I started taking summer classes, started meeting some great people. I made a great group of friends. I was out of that toxic environment at my dad's house. I was taking classes to get into the architecture program, which had been a dream of mine since I was 8 years old. Things were going really good. And then Father's Day weekend of 2017 happened. So in 2017, Father's Day was June 18th, which was a Sunday. His birthday was Saturday, so I thought, okay, well, I'll go back up to Akron. I'll spend the weekend with my dad. We'll celebrate his birthday on Saturday, celebrate Father's Day on Sunday. And yeah, it'll be a good time. Get up to Akron, and yeah, my dad's plastered. Like I remember I got to his house. I bought him some balloons for his birthday, and yeah, my brother actually has the pictures. My dad took pictures of my brother and I with the balloons I had gotten him, and we were just like and he would leave the room, and then he would come back and see me and be like, "Oh, Nate, you're here." And I'm like, "Yeah, Dad, I've been here for like an hour." Again, same with the graduation party. You could barely walk, you could barely talk in coherent sentences, slurring his words really bad. So before I left his house, I took his truck keys and I hid them because I didn't want him to be driving anywhere to go get more liquor, which is a common thing that he would do. I went back to my mom's house and I was just kind of chilling, and next thing I know, I'm getting a call from him. I'm like, well, I know that can't be good, so I don't answer, but I don't answer, and then I start getting texts like, what the fuck are you doing? Where are my keys? What, are you just gonna keep me prisoner in my own house? I haven't done anything to deserve this, just blowing up my phone and just saying some pretty hurtful things. And the next day, so Saturday was his birthday. I was like, okay, well, we'll try again. So I went back over, still drunk. I told him happy birthday, and he said, oh, I guess you're right, it is my birthday. And yeah, I think he like passed out on the back deck or something for a couple hours. So I was like, okay, so not today either, so there's still one more day. Sunday, this is Father's Day. I'm back at his house, and I'm sitting in his living room. My brother's downstairs because my brother lived with him at this point. And my dad comes downstairs, and I'm talking to him, and he's like actually pretty, I wouldn't say pretty, he was okay. He was the best I had seen him so far that weekend, and still kind of off and, kind of weird, but I was like, anybody would be weird. They were coming off of a 3-day drinking binge. So I go, I said, Daniel and I want to take you out to eat. Take you out to brunch before I have to go back to Columbus. I had class on Monday, so I was gonna have to be getting back soon. So like, we want to take you out to eat before I have to go back. And he goes, okay, that sounds good. I'll go get ready. An hour and a half has gone by, and I'm like, I have to leave in like 2 hours. So if we're gonna be doing this, like, we need to do it. So I go upstairs to my dad's bedroom, and I knock on the door, and I'm like, Dad, and there's no answer. So then I try opening the door, and his door's locked. So I'm like, what's happening? So I start like pounding on the door. I'm like, Dad, what are you doing? What's going on? And he opens the door, and he's just like completely gone. Like, I don't even know how to describe the look in his face. It was almost like someone I didn't recognize. And he says, what the fuck are you doing? And I said, what are you doing? And he goes, I'm not doing anything. And I said, well, are you ready? We're trying to take you out to eat. And he goes, who? I said, me and Daniel. And he says, oh, Daniel's here? And I said, yeah, Dad, he lives here. He goes, oh. And I didn't say anything for a minute. And finally I just said, I was just trying to have a nice weekend with you. And I started crying, and my dad shrugs his shoulders, says, sorry, and slams the door in my face. At that point, I wanted to stay and, maybe try and help him, but like, I had classes I needed to get to. I needed to get back to Columbus. I was devastated. Just, I came all this way just to see my dad for Father's Day, and it hadn't really panned out. And so I decided to come back to Columbus. And when I was on my way back, I just kept thinking about like everything I had done over the years. I tried to help him. I tried to help him with his problems emotionally. I moved into his house and tried to help him, and went to the AA meetings, used to follow him in my car to try and get him to stop driving when he would go to get more liquor, when he had been drinking for like 3 days. And I just kept thinking, like, nothing I've done has done anything. While this is happening, again, this song came on, and it's a song called The Emotion by a guy named Borns. He says, He says, what you're looking for is suddenly out of reach. And that just like perfectly described how I was feeling. Like I've been trying to like achieve this, trying to help my dad, and it's just like not possible, and felt very hopeless. So that brings us to our first discussion, which is talk about a time or a relationship that you thought was hopeless. So following Father's Day weekend, I kind of just decided like I needed to take a step back. Like this, like I was saying, you know, I had this new life here in Columbus, and I couldn't let my dad ruin that for me. So I'd say for the next year and a half, it was, things between us were pretty strained. You know, a lot of times I would go up to visit my family, and like I wouldn't even tell them that I was home, because I was like, what's the point? January 2nd of 2018, my dad finally decided that it was time to get sober, and really get sober. So he actually spent the majority of 2018 not drinking. But even so, even though he wasn't drinking, it was like, how do you begin to recover like 10 years of hurt feelings? You know, it's not an easy task. So even though he wasn't drinking, there still wasn't that much of an emotional connection between us. Towards the end of the semester, my dad had actually started reaching out to me more, which was something he had never done before. You know, just texting me and saying like, hey Nate, how are you doing? Like, how's school going? Hope you're doing well. So there was actually a little bit of an improvement. So Christmas break of 2018, I come back to Akron, getting ready for Christmas, and I thought, well, you know, my dad's actually been trying, so maybe I can try too. Maybe I'll actually tell him that I'm home this time. So I text him and I say, hey, I'm in town now. Let me know if you want to get together sometime. How about you come to Smucker's, which is where he worked. You should come to Smucker's and check out this new coffee shop that we opened. It's really nice. And I said, okay, sounds good. And he says, how about Tuesday? Tuesday comes. This is a week before Christmas. So Tuesday morning, my dad texts me and he says, hey Nate, I'm not feeling so well. I'm not gonna go to work. Could you maybe come to Smucker's tomorrow instead? A little while later, my brother texts me and he says, hey, did dad call you? And I said, yeah, he told me he wasn't feeling well. And my brother says, yeah, not feeling well means taking shots at 7 o'clock this morning. So it's this again. So my dad missed the rest of that week at work. I wasn't angry. I just felt like I was done. I was like, I'm not doing this anymore. I was upset that he had relapsed, but I was more upset at myself, because I was like, how could you let him get your hopes up again? I blocked my dad's number. I remember my mom came home from work and she said, are you going to see your dad at all? And I said, no. And she said, not even for Christmas? And I said, no. So I had no intention of seeing or talking to my dad for a long time, if ever. My brother was like, well, I think you should go for Christmas still. And I said, no, I don't want to see him. And he said, well, I do know he got you a really cool present. So this is 2 days before Christmas. My mom comes and sits next to me. And she pulls out her phone and she pulls up this video. And she says, I want you to watch this. So I watch it. So the idea behind this video was that there are 3 types of people. in the world. The first kind is somebody that you talk to, and when you leave that conversation, you feel fulfilled and happy, and you're like, I'm glad I had that conversation. Second type of person, somebody that's kind of neutral. You're not upset you had that conversation, you're not glad you had that conversation, it was good. The third type is the energy vampire, and that's somebody who you leave an interaction with them and you just feel drained. So the video finishes, my mom says, I was showing you this because I feel like it could help you sort out your relationship with your dad. I know you have a problem with his drinking, but you can still have a relationship with him without his drinking getting to you. I guess I had never thought about it in that way before, just kind of taking a hands-off approach, and like my mom said, keeping conversations light, setting that boundary between you and that person so that you can still be there for them, but not let their problems bring you down. She says, so I really think that you should go to your dad's house on Christmas. I think you'll be happy that you go, and I do know what he got you, and it is a really nice present. So I unblocked my dad's number, and later that day I was sitting on the couch, and the Browns were on. So, and they were winning somehow. So I thought, I guarantee my dad's at home watching this right now. So I texted him and I said, hey, the Browns are doing pretty good, aren't they? And he said, yeah, this season actually hasn't been too bad. And I said, yeah, I've been following them a little bit, and it seems like they're not losing as bad, at least. We didn't talk about anything that had happened the week before. We just talked about the Browns, and it was through texting, but it was a nice conversation. So I told my brother that I was going to come on Tuesday for Christmas. So Christmas Day, my brother and I go over to his house from our mom's house, and my dad says, I want to see Nate open his present. So he hands me this box, I unwrap it, and it's just this white box, and the white box says in chroma on it. So I'm like, this is weird. So I open the box. So I open the box, and there's a glasses case and a bag of balloons. It says, we need to blow up the balloons. Don't open the case yet. He starts blowing up the balloons, and then he says, okay, go ahead and open the case. And I open them, and it's a pair of what looks like sunglasses. And he goes, put them on. So I put them on. He goes, what do you see? I say, everything got dimmer. So I'm like, okay, so this is like the big build up to this great present. I'm like, you got me some sunglasses and balloons, thanks, Dad. He says, no, they're glasses for colorblind people. And I was diagnosed with red-green color blindness when I was in elementary school, but they didn't do anything. So my dad is like, what is going on? He's like about to freak out because he just spent all this money on these glasses and they're not doing anything. So we go and pull up the website and come to find out that these glasses were actually outdoor glasses. They make indoor glasses and outdoor glasses. So I said, oh, that's why they don't work, because these are for viewing outdoors. I said, so I'll put them on tomorrow, because at this point it's already dark out. It doesn't really matter if I have them on or not. And he goes, you want to see how I came up with the idea? And I said, yeah, sure. So he goes to YouTube and he pulls up this music video for a song called Color Green by a band named New Politics. And this band has been one of my favorite bands since I saw them live with my dad in 2014. The video shows the world through the eyes of a colorblind man. And about 3/4 of the way through the video, he puts on these glasses and he sees color for the first time. Apparently, the beginning of the video is how a colorblind person sees sees colors, and then when he puts the glasses on, it changes to real color. It all looks the same to me, but I'll believe people. And then the last like 30 seconds or so are just home videos of people putting on these glasses and seeing color for the first time, and they're getting very emotional, and that's actually incredibly thoughtful. So the next day, I'm at my mom's house. I'm home alone. It's sunny out. There's no clouds. So I think, oh, I'll go put the glasses on. So I go outside. I put my headphones on, and I put the glasses on, and I play this song, Color Green, and I got to see color for the first time. Like, I'm gonna be 25 next month, and I saw color for the first time 3 months ago. I can't even describe the feeling, like how much brighter everything was. I mean, I was crying. I was just like those people in the videos, and it was just such a huge moment for me. And I got that from my dad. What I'm saying is I'm glad that I didn't give up. Even when I wanted to give up on my dad, I never did. And it paid off because I got to I got to experience this new thing. So that brings us to our second question. If you didn't give up but changed the dynamic, how could that hopeless situation look? I didn't give up on my dad, I just changed the dynamic, and was able to put myself in a better position to deal with his problems. Hopefully, by hearing my story, I can maybe help you guys with whatever you may be struggling with. It's been great getting to tell you all my story. And now we're gonna have the band play.
You and I, blind light, we come together every time. Two wrongs, no rights, lose ourselves at night. From the outside, everyone must be wondering why we try. Why do we try? Maybe in the wildest moments, we could be the greatest, we could be the greatest. Maybe in the wildest moments, we could be the worst of all. Maybe in the wildest moments, we could be the greatest, we could be the greatest. Maybe in the wildest moments, we could be the worst of all. Wait under the sky, wherever there's smoke, there'll soon be fire. What could bring bad luck? I've been looking at you too much. From the outside, everyone must be wondering why we try. Why do we try? Baby, in the wildest moments, we could be the greatest, we could be the greatest. Baby, in the wildest moments, we could be the worst of all. Baby, in the wildest moments, we could be the greatest, we could be the greatest. Baby, in the wildest moments, we could be the worst of all. In the middle of it, we walk the line. Looking back, I miss it. Our wildest moments. Are you thinking what if we ruined it all? My wrecking ball from the outside, everyone must be wondering why we try. Why do we try? Baby, in the wildest moments, we could be the greatest, we could be the greatest. Baby, in the wildest moments, we could be the worst of all.
my gosh. Thank you to the band again. Amazing, amazing talent. And thank you so much to Nate for being so sincere and just being vulnerable with us, especially not knowing everybody here. We really appreciate it. Yo, thank you guys for coming out. I hope you can stop by sometime in the future. I know a lot of you guys were here to see Nate and support him. Super cool guy. But if we don't see you in the future, I just hope that something here has inspired you to search for growth in your life.